Well, hello, YouTube. Thank you for joining me for this commentary track on Avatar from 2009, written and directed by James Cameron. I am watching this on Disney Plus. If you'd like to sync this up, I'll be giving you some instructions in just a sec, but a little bit about me. So, I'm one of the few movie critics who've really stuck around on YouTube for middling success, but I watched Avatar when it came out, opening day in 3D, and you might want to hear some things I have to say about this movie from behind the scenes perspective because I've actually worked with a couple of actors in the film. Before we get into this, I'd like to give a mention to Nork. This is amazing forged flatware. Use my promo code FRY45 at checkout at nork.net for 45% off. In the pinned comment below this video, of which it's just audio, okay? You can sync this up and everything. I'll give you the instructions in a sec. The pinned comment will have all my other exclusives for my viewers. Let's go ahead and fire up Disney Plus, get Avatar going. Unfortunately, this is not available in 4K as of this recording. You're just limited to HD, not even 3D. Big rip, right? Go ahead and go to 000 and hit play now. Shockingly enough, we are greeted with that 20th Century Fox production logo. It might actually get excised out of the movie. When they upgrade this to 4K, it may not say Fox anymore, so just mind you of that. I'm trying to recall here how many production logos we had. No, really just one. That's it, 20th Century Fox. You gotta love that, because I watched this new Jackie Chan and Arnold Schwarzenegger movie last night. It had like 50 logos. We're hearing Jake Sully. Oh man, why am I forgetting this actor's name? Not a whole lot happened for him after this. He had the Clash of the Titans, the Wrath of the Titans, Man on a Ledge, Sam Worthington. Yeah. This kind of fell off the face of the planet, right? Waiting for those Avatar sequels. Six years in cryo to travel to... I haven't actually seen this movie in its entirety since it came out. I've watched the last battle, like the last hour, a couple times on FX. Pandora. That's where they're headed. Twin brother who is able-bodied was up for this Avatar program. They going to be explaining more of this. I'm assuming you have seen this movie to the point that you're listening to a commentary. Ship in space, mixed thoughts. That looks like most effects that we see as far as CGI space stuff these days. I don't believe that we use the proper terminology. Oh, the effects don't hold up. Do they look like the modern effects later? Were they ahead of the time? Were they revolutionary? Maybe hold up's not the best way to describe this. Hey, you get to walk again. It's a dream for a guy crippled. By the way, I am eating some popcorn. I hope that's not going to be too terribly intrusive. Pays good. Yes, a future where we still have money. Greed very critical to this film. I think a lot of the themes in this kind of rub people the wrong way because it's like, oh, haven't we seen Dancing with the Wolves before? Oh, but you take that and you put it in a sci-fi environment. This guy over here giving this big O speech, kind of akin to Apone in Aliens. Can't recall the actor's name, but he is the voice of Darth Vader in the Star Wars video games and has been since 1995. Clearly we see some strip mining going on. Big ecological metaphor stuff, environmental impact. This is their planet, and what are we doing to it? White guilt. Some of the themes that get brought up in this movie that, in a way, the critics love, and I think that the critics in the Academy may have been more fond of this movie than the public, who, for many, this was their first foray into modern 3D movies. I'd previously seen 3D done before. My Bloody Valentine 3D didn't look so hot. The first movie to use 3D cameras from this film after they completed it was Resident Evil Afterlife. I think that was the name of it. It's hard to remember. I think Retribution and then Final Chapter. Yes, it was Afterlife. There we see him with the wheelchair. Commercials for this movie actually had other scenes of him out on the street in like New York City or wherever with the wheelchair, maybe looking more downtrodden. Got a little bit of blue in our camo here. Very blue-green movie. Prominent colors. This mech warrior bot here, a little too similar to that scene in Matrix Revolutions. Well, hold on. Dang it. Now it's Reloaded, then it's Revolutions, right? Or was Revolutions the video game Matrix? Whatever the third Matrix movie was, where they brought those out. You know what? We might have had better looking tires capable today with CGI. Here we go, guys. Colonel Quaritch, right? With a Q. Played by Stephen Lang. I think we could quite possibly say that one of the better things of the movie. Not a guy that I think we would have taken for a hard-ass military bad guy. Especially if your first exposure to him was as the kind of wimpy tabloid reporter in Manhunter. But, I mean, this guy really kicks some ass in this movie. Got the sweet scars, kind of showing, hey, you guys are up against quite a threat over here. You better take this shit seriously. Stephen Lang was a special guest at my film festival. I think this was in 2015. And I had to introduce one of his movies and stuff. I got to hang out with him and his son a bit. His son had been doing a lot of producing work. And he'd been a guest at the festival for a while, 2-3 years maybe, and started, he told me he wanted to get into some directing. Maybe we'll be seeing some of his stuff coming. But Stephen Lang took some questions from the audience people had of Avatar. Hey, were those really your muscles? Was it CGI? Nope, it was all me, he said. Not a super huge guy. Something about the camera can can definitely make people look big, especially if you're watching something blown up, 30 feet high. So here we are. This is an avatar. Thing has to be compatible with Jake's Sully. We use them as a means to communicate with the I don't know what we'd call it exactly, the alpha species of the planet, maybe dominant species. So they're the Navi, and this is an avatar. Now, one of the differences, it kind of looks like him, right? They say the avatars have eyebrows, the Navi don't. Initially, I was kind of confused as to, why not lie to him and be like, hey, we're some Navi that the humans have worked with before. You guys should accept their deal, their treaty. Yeah, that's what you should do. So they're a little bit upfront about it. I first saw the trailer for Avatar when I was watching the Michael Jackson This Is It concert album film, released after his death. And it was preceded by this Avatar trailer. Man, I actually teared up. I was like, wow, James Cameron is back. Because, as speaking of favorite directors, present company excluded, I'd probably say James Cameron. He's pretty meticulous about what he creates. He's a perfectionist. Doesn't go around making garbage. There's not a filler year, none of that. Or some cheap cash grab, really. I mean, a lot of time between films. Rubs a lot of the actors he works with the wrong way, which makes you think that Sigourney Weaver must have approved of his methods to be back for more. No nonsense doctrine. I don't believe this was the most expensive movie ever made at release. At some point, we just got to where we were like, okay, if $200 million budget plus was kind of the news. It seemed like it wasn't a marketing ploy. Hey, go see the most expensive movie. I think Superman Returns had the record for a while. Now it's probably something like Avengers Endgame. Not totally sure where we're standing on that. Now, your Burke figure here, Giovanni Verbisi, corporate man, right? You're expecting him to be a bit more two-faced, but I kind of thought that he was upfront and sincere, actually. Kind of welcoming in a way. But he's going to be kind of the hot shot looking to make some power play moves, impress executives elsewhere, right? So, and that's all because look how laissez-faire he is here. He's got the putting green out. What's kind of shocking is look at the pacing of a scene here. No cut. Just, you kick that over, walk over this way. We're showing off some of the effects. We're dropping a few plot points, but it's not switching plot points and jumping around to confuse the audience. It's a coherent enough film, a simple enough story, and it needs to be so that you can get the character development along the way, as you have this hero's journey for Jake Sully. Now we're going to explain the unobtanium. Maybe unintentionally funny name for... It is unobtainium, right? Yeah. Scientists looking for a diplomatic solution. Military guy, not so much. Corporation goes with whoever succeeds. How much time you logged? Simulator. Yeah, I read the manual. This other guy who has the avatar, can't recall the actor's name, but earlier in the year was in The Hottie and the Naughty. Massively panned Paris Hilton vehicle. Ends the year in Avatar. Huge swing of the spectrum right there. Come on, Jake, you can't just follow directions and keep your head down. This guy, this tech over here, I think I'd first seen him in Drag Me to Hell, and then after this, I believe he's in Inception. Honestly, as I'm watching this, I'm having flashbacks to the movie theater experience. I'm drinking a Mountain Dew Code Red. I have a big bowl of popcorn. I'm watching the biggest movie of all time, recently recaptured The Crown, when we don't adjust for inflation. Because it re-released in China. I'm assuming this will go back and forth with Avengers Endgame or whatever Avenger things coming up. Because it seems like the end game for the theater is Endgame, in a sense. There could be some ways to polish up the facial effects here on the Avatar. I can see it's kind of speaks to other craft aspects of the film, that such a seemingly goofy looking alien can get to be endearing. Again, I guess you can't really call Jake Sully's avatar an alien per se, because he's the lab grown version, you know. He's too excited. He's pulling the cords. Guy hasn't walked in forever, and you made him like 9 feet tall. What do you expect him to do? They must have set up an extra high basketball hoop. That thing looks ridiculously up there. Yeah, I'm guessing that when they made the Sigourney Weaver Avatar, they said, like, we're going to make you the same age as everybody else. We're not going to give you an old Avatar. Show that bare midriff, you know? Just towering over, like, twice as tall as these ladies walking around. You got to keep in mind, people can't breathe on the planet. The avatars can. The Na'vi can. So everybody's got to have the face mask, which, you know, it's kind of surprising. The face mask you see in this movie, you saw of some companies kind of go, hey, here's one that it's going to cost you $150, so everybody can see your face. I want my face covered up when we had the mask on. Kind of helps you hide, feel less silly. When the avatars go asleep, the humans wake up. Could make for quite the exhausting day. Introduction to Letty. Actually really liked her character in this. Though I can't really see how she survives given what allegedly is to come of her returning in the film. Stephen Lang don't need a spotter. Look at the chest on this guy. Now, when let's see, it was 2015. Stephen Lang, when I met him, he was actually hungry for the role of Cable. He thought he could pull it off. He was concerned 20th Century Fox would go with somebody younger so they could get more movies out of him, and essentially they did, Josh Brolin. I think I would have preferred Stephen Lang. Though Cable's supposed to be like 6'4", him and Josh Brolin about the same size. I feel like Stephen Lang looks more like Cable. You know, he's plenty badass here. Unfortunately, it's not like they had a Deadpool movie going in like 2012, right? For Cable to be in. It's more like 2017. So yeah, they're looking at a guy now. Oh man, we don't need a 70-something-year-old Cable. That's not going to work. Josh Brolin, what are you up to? You want to play another comic book character? You only done a dozen. It's a potent mix. I think we saw that a lot in the promos for the movie. He's kind of wanting Jake Sully to answer to him, kind of go over Grace's head, right? Grace being the head doctor, right? Sigourney Weaver. And, you know, he's trained military, misses the life, I guess, wants to be a part of the action. Get your legs back. Healthcare in the future didn't want to give him legs. Oh, all this tech, we go to these other planets where you get the unobtanium on Pandora. But we're giving guys wheelchairs when they served our country. What are we doing, guys? send you on a mission to go meet with some Navi. There are some things that rub me the wrong way about how some of these effects are displayed. They do this sort of Battlestar Galactica faux documentary, unrehearsed angle, crash zooms, out of focus to in focus type stuff. I'm not saying it's rack focus, like we're shifting focus. It's like, let's have the shot not really in focus and then on the ship. You didn't get that kind of amateur or like pseudo amateur look out of previous James Cameron films. The shot I'm thinking most of is kind of like when they're about to attack the tree later. Of course, you go to Disney World, you have a big Avatar land. Then, and that's kind of like where you kind of saw how some of this was coming together, these deals. Oh, hey, let's build an Avatar theme park thing at Disney World. Next thing you know, Disney owns Avatar because they bought 20th Century Fox. Wouldn't it be funnier if they acquire 20th Century Fox just to make a King of the Hill cinematic universe? Well, I'll say that their monkeys look better than Indiana Jones's. Norm, that's the guy. Kind of the neebish other Avatar. Now, you could see it on their training facility. They actually had several people doing this stuff. Yeah, we can't have a normal looking plant on this planet. Hell, we can't even have normal waterfalls. There's one of those sort of crash zooms. You can see how I say camera. There's cameras involved in this. You know, as from the frame perspective, we're looking at CGI models and all, but tilting it, it's like the cameraman's got a limp or half crouched, jerking around, almost like when someone body slams somebody in WWE now and they purposely shake the camera to accentuate the force. Yeah, hold your ground, huh? Whoa. Yeah, why is he gonna talk like a street guy today? Who's bad, huh? That's what I'm talking about, bitch. Yeah. Bear run. It's in the future. Don't try to give them our vernacular. No, you know, it's a future extended from Earth. It's better than the way Finn talks in the new Star Wars. That's right. No, the effects, everything in this movie is so ambitious and stuff. I think that the Academy also wanted to give the nominations because you had a director whose previous movie cleaned up big time. This movie does even better at the box office, and so you feel some pressure to give Like award. The skin tones on this creature are something just doesn't quite match. Maybe it's just the textures there. Look a bit lacking. Who knows? They put this in 4K on Disney Plus. We could see a lot of revamped effects. I mean, all this stuff is files that can be drag and dropped and updated. And we know this guy's enormous, and those things are way bigger than him. It's like he's running away from a predator lion or elephant, really. It's really important that we grow you a ponytail before we let you take over the Avatar. And we'll see why. You know, in 85% of this movie, this is kind of what things would look like if it was as described. I would think the way you see things. Most of the time, the avatars of the Na'vi don't look like a CGI creature so much as they look like what one would expect a nearly 10-foot tall blue alien sort of aborigine cat person, right? First look here at Zoe Saldana, who, given that she is doing the motion capture thing and the voice, it's kind of the performance of Andy Serkis, you know, as he always seems to be doing in movies. He's the ape, he's Smeagol, you know, things like that, right? I was gonna kill him, but the planet spoke to me and told me not to. That's what we can take out of that later. You know, we're a bit miffed right here. But it's like though there was some conflict, I mean, something's got to eat something else on this planet, right? But then we're told that essentially everything on the planet has a kind of hive mind like synergy about it, working in concert. So. Almost looks like the helicopter version of the dropship in Aliens, don't it? Yeah, I wouldn't be getting any sleep there tonight. Those kind of panther things, they look maybe a bit more wet and pudding textured than maybe they should. There is a benefit, though, to these things being alien. They're not based on stuff we've seen before. It's a tired comparison for my listeners here that I always say I miss helicopters in movies because we know what helicopters look like, and yet they keep giving us CGI helicopters. We're seeing a little bit of that slow motion jerk back to real time. Not something you usually see in James Cameron films. He likes to have the slow motion done before the action. You don't do the action in slow motion, but you make it dramatic with the slow motion, then play out the action in real time to make it more exciting. But you'll see it at times, like in the big conflict, Jake slow motion like a badass flips the pins out of the grenades, right? PG-13, we don't want to see you stabbing the space dog, do we? And this is the type of light show one would expect to see if you visit the Avatar display at night over at Disney World. Continuing talking of Disney, though, it does them so good to just keep re-releasing their biggest movie. Oh, let's have Avatar fans in the. I don't know how many they're Avatar fans, but put them against the Marvel fans. Yeah, have it go back and forth. Who wants to be the biggest movie, right? Whoever wins, we win, says Disney. But I just don't find it very fair once Endgame gets the top honors. By that point, Disney has total control over the movie theaters, owning too large of a chunk of the movies that are being released, able to tell the theaters what to book so that there's no opposition going against them, making it a shoo-in for crap like Captain Marvel to do better than Wonder Woman. It's your fault, because you're a male. Now, is it Nefertiti? And does she have a kind of an English name? Well, Earth name anyhow, but her character is not so much based on Zoe Saldana. She's not the Avatar. Maybe more cat-like with the eyes for her. Yeah, the path lights up, like Billie Jean. You're darn right you need her help. I recently watched Soul on the same TV, same setup. I've had Disney Plus for half a month, but I hadn't watched anything. It was a free trial for a month. A bit disgusted about how they mistreated Gina Carano, but anyhow, I know people want me to watch Soul, and I figure I need to do some commentaries of what I could. Kind of brings to mind that seemed like maybe the texture work and effects in Pixar, especially in Soul when it was on Earth, much of that looked photorealistic or quite close with cartoonish, stylized figures in a very realistic world. Maybe a bit better than this, though the comparison, this is not reality that we're looking at, and we don't have an Earth equivalent. Wow, yay, the dandelions of our planet have gathered around Jake Sully. He's the chosen one, blah, 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 right? Everything lights up. Touch it and it lights up. No, I mean, it lights up and you touch it and it lights up even more. Of course, the natives of Pandora are going to behave similar to Native Americans. Chief is even voiced by a Native American. Actually, I'm really not sure who does this guy. They kind of like betrothed to her, but ends up not so much being her love interest because Jake gets in the way. We're taking you to the big tree. There's other tribes on this planet. Do they just... This is the tribe of the tree? Is that how it goes? The other ones have other sacred things. We have the big cave. We have the big... I don't know, stump. See, you can kind of see how they're played up in their clothing and hairstyle, some of the facial structure, even akin to Native Americans, and this draws certain comparisons. And the white guy driving out the Native American, yeah, things that can kind of bait a critic. There we go. There's the chief, voiced by Wes Studi, who I've worked with on. Actually, he was essentially top billing, though not the titular character, in The Only Good Indian, a film, indie film that I worked on as a production assistant in 2007. And I think it was like, I don't know, it might have been a good 2 weeks that I did that. And boy, that was some back-breaking work. We're talking like 16-hour day sort of stuff, this indie film thing. Kind of showed me that maybe it's not that good. And if you're working on a movie set and you're not the director, it's a bit of a thankless job, or so it felt. But yeah, Wes Studi, I've got a picture with him too. Maybe I can put that up for you guys in the I think I've put it on Instagram a few times and whatever, but always saw him as Magua in The Last of the Mohicans, just this super intimidating dude. And you see him in some other things too, Mystery Men, more comedic. But to see him on break on a movie set, just singing country music, just kind of chill, drinking a coffee, singing country music to himself, it's kind of like, whoa, just a bit of a disconnect. But I was a little in the know about what projects were being done in film at that time, back when you kind of had to seek out the information, before you had Twitter telling you all the rumors, what to get hyped for, oh, this has been leaked, this person's been cast as this, all that sort of stuff. Before that, you had to go look these things up, and I knew he was working on James Cameron's Avatar. Didn't really have the stones to ask him about it, but immediately after finished filming our little movie, he had to go off to do this. And it's a motion capture bodysuit performance with the voiceover. And Wes Studi also in Soul, which I watched this morning, so had a small bit there as like I think it said Counselor Jerry, all these like leadership roles in Soul. You'll understand what I'm saying if you see it. Spilling popcorn down my shirt. Extra buttery popcorn on my shirt. Don't step on the tails. Let me ask you this. Have you guys seen better facial constructions in video games of late than you see in this movie? Perhaps the tech demo for the Series X featuring Hellblade 2? Maybe that pairs up pretty well against it. Of course, we're comparing the look of aiming for a human versus an alien here. Remember, when you go sleep, you wake up elsewhere. Just so happen to be trying to wake him up as his avatar is going to sleep in the tree. Angry Thanator, huh? See, corporate guy wants to give the blue monkeys what they want. Oh, but it's derogatory referring to them as blue monkeys. Now, that unobtanium, that comes from somewhere else, I believe. Maybe it's a MacGuffin in another little movie or some phrase. Or is sort of like a fill-in MacGuffin, just something you can't get, unobtainable. Fortunately, there are trees on top of the big deposit, so what are we going to do? We need to relocate them. Find a way to get them to move. $3 months to convince them to leave. Atukan, that's the leader, Westudi. See, the guy that's going to become the next leader, to be mated to the girl he likes, but Jake Sully kind of comes in there and he's sort of okay with it more than some guys would be. And maybe that's their custom. New guy bests you, let it be. You don't get to be king anymore. Prospective king. You just got Prince Harried. Can I get some of this popcorn in my mouth? Good grief. And there's some writing lessons. You gotta hook up with your USB cable in your ponytail. This seems particularly gross. That is Shalua, the Bond. Okay. So how many things on this planet have the built-in USB cables? A rock sees more. I mean, not the best put down, but uh-oh, he's working with the military bros. We're going to set up a mobile site in the mountains, the Hallelujah Mountains, huh? Floating mountains. I would like to hear James Cameron's explanation behind the logistics of the waterfalls that float. And here we go, floating rocks. It's one thing to have the rocks floating, but where's all the water coming from to make the waterfalls? It's got to come down from above somewhere else, right? I like the sass in Letty in this movie, Michelle Rodriguez. What did they say her name was in this? I can't remember, but thinking of her as Letty, just in about everything she's in. Trudy, that's it. You know, the least glitchy unit, huh? What's the glitch in this gonna do to somebody? So more on the Only Good Indian. Not a great movie by any means. I was mostly helping the sound crew, who was one of the more competent aspects of the film. That really the cinematography brought it down a great deal. The concept was unique and interesting enough about this Native American boy. I think it was might have been 1910, 1920 when it took place. I'm trying to remember here. But Native American kids were kind of taken from their home, put up in schools to be like whites. Okay, so you learned about that. It's a lesser told American history event. And this boy escapes, and he has to be brought in, and there's a Native American guy who's learning to be a Pinkerton agent, or wants to become an agent, and he ends up helping the kid out. The villain in the movie also has James Cameron ties. He was he was like the lead military guy in The Abyss, and he told me on the set that he was the motion capture for Optimus Prime in the 2007 Transformers movie. So that Transformers had just came out a few weeks later. I end up working on the set of this movie, and he's telling me that he is Optimus Prime. But the director of The Only Good Indian, Kevin Wilmot, recent Oscar winner, picked up an Oscar, got us 2 years ago for Spike Lee's movie Black Klansman. I guess it's a best adapted screenplay. Mentally, this guy cannot sleep. He's either awake as the Avatar or as Jake from State Farm. She's taking a funness to him. Yeah, I wouldn't knock the animation quality. They have fluid movement about them. As his time with the Na'vi expands, he has all this freedom as the Avatar. It's kind of like, would you want to go back to being a crippled guy when you can be like a 9-foot giant that the princess loves? You know, ultimately, that's the kind of choice he comes to, right? And yeah, there are some fleeting nip shots here for our Avatar princess, our Na'vi princess, you know, but fleeting. Natiri, not Nefertiri. I just guess there's not an F. Oh, hey, they have mushrooms. We have mushrooms. I don't think we have a leaf that size anywhere, though. It's gotta be like a 12-foot leaf. All right, if you are annoyed by my popcorn, I have finished. Grace has got to have been studying the Na'vi for a long time. Oh yeah, that looks practical. You touch this lizard and he helicopters. Not a wings that spin, but rotates the the creature around, making them dizzy. That's helpful. He's like, no, I got this. Come on. Let me shoot the bow. I'm sorry, you don't shoot bows or arrows. Feels like in recent years I've been hearing the term loose. You loose an arrow. I mean, you let it loose, right? But I thought, you'd say fire. Fire away, right? Of course, we have weapons akin to Native Americans. That's what we do. Yeah, if you look at with a critical eye, I think you can see in their armaments, the clothing, the beads in the hair, we can do a little better now. I saw more authentic representations of knickknacks and the like in Seoul. Give you an idea of maybe what we could be possible with an Avatar 2. Now, people expect Avatar 2 to bomb. Oh, well, they had their fill with the first Avatar. It didn't live up to the hype. They went on the curiosity factor of the 3D. Let me say this. Disney wouldn't create a situation where that movie fails, and it could entirely be possible that we don't have big theatrical releases anymore. It's just that the theaters couldn't sustain long enough. They go out of business. There's not going to be enough hits. People have come to accept that they don't need to go to the movie theater. Things like this could happen, okay? Disney would then be in a situation where hey, you get Avatar 2 with premiere access, right? Shocking enough, HBO has recently, just the other day, released the Zack Snyder director's cut of Justice League. Not charging premium access. Totally, Netflix and HBO Max could get away with charging you a premium for stuff, and it wouldn't even surprise me if Disney extended this to some of the series they use, like Mandalorian Season 3. Unlock it with premiere access. And people would come up with excuses, but you get it a month early. You know, like, look, if one person can get it a month early, everybody can. There's not, you're making excuses for them to just make more money off of you because you like some property they acquired. And it's kind of feeling that way with Disney, isn't it? It's the stuff they bought that's doing so good. They buy the superheroes. They buy Star Wars. They buy Avatar. I think that should an Avatar 2 release, I expect it to actually do pretty well. That is, if theaters are back. And we may not have as many screens or as many seats permitted, but kind of wait long enough, ride out the superhero wave. Because this movie comes out prior to the Marvel Cinematic Universe really kicking off. I mean, it was kind of getting early phase 1 start, just a couple movies under the belt. Technically, as people would say, it's Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk, though I would wager to say that the narrative starts with the Incredible Hulk, or Hulk 2003. At any rate, Avatar 2 could hit theaters or come about in a time where people have Avatar nostalgia. And that could be a driving factor. Now, this is sort of like the buffalo hunt, or American bison. There, you're with us. It's time to do your manliness test, right? Be one with the tribe. This isn't necessarily hunting, but this is the sort of the metaphorical equivalent. You do this, now you're really one of us. You pull this off. Oh, come on. Any of these they could all just fly away if they wanted, couldn't they? Oh yeah, I'm sure hissing at that really scares it compared to having a far bigger mouth. That moron's gonna die. Whoop. He's doing okay. Plug in your cable. Give him the old lightning. You gotta hope that he's compatible, man. You don't want to go lightning to USB-C. You don't want to try to jam your micro USB into a mini USB. Good old trusty vines, always growing out over ledges in movies, right? Perfect for grabbing. Link up. Yeah, that's gotta make taming anything way easier. You don't have to break the horse, just link up with them. Can't wait, you have to fly to seal the bond. I mean, but you're hooked up. Is that not bond enough? Now look, this diving off the cliff here looks better than... Only 4 years older than it's the Revenge of the Sith, right? 2005. And I think we can markedly say that effects involving giant animal lizard type things in that don't look as good as Avatar's. Oh, come on. Can you guys all grab your flying one too? I mean, is it like every time you want to fly somewhere, you're going to have to wrestle one of these things up? I mean, she just jumped on one like she had it parked there and was coming to collect. Like it was waiting for her. We even have a sort of Lion King-esque African chant music about in this movie at times. We just heard. Yeah, you know, different ideas of what natives would be like, sort of in relation to Earth. Yeah, on paper, how hard is it to think that? Okay, so people got wrapped up in the blue aliens that fly in the. You're telling me that the rocks float and they have waterfalls, and they have to USB connect with the pterodactyls, and that's going to make billions of dollars for us. Okay. Okay, where the hell did that arch come from? Right? Kind of man-made structure looking sort of stuff here. The most sacred place. The tree. That doesn't even look like a tree. I would die to get samples. Well, you're gonna, watch your words. You're definitely gonna get pretty close to the whole matter. So I think the idea, if I remember here, it's kind of like whoever can tame the big red yellow pterodactyl, that'll be somebody who's proven metal to be the new leader. So, and Jake Sully doing so, it's kind of like he gets to inherit everything. But the other guys just couldn't think of a way to do this. With way more experience. Oh yeah, hilarious. This thing tried to kill us. They call the thing Last Shadow because it's the last shadow you'll see. Not a bad nickname. So somebody rode Last Shadow, and that makes you a great one. Yeah, if you can ride this guy, you can bring the clans together even. Yeah. All the clans respect that. And you can see how he's neglected himself. The beard's growing out, getting skinny. Uh, 3 months hanging out with the Navi. You're running out of time with the Colonel. 2154. Still have wheelchairs. Yeah, I'm going to sit backwards in the chair before Captain America. Eat that. Corporate approval to get his legs back. If you do the ceremony, they'll trust you, you say, but I just told you that I wanted this to become a firefight. I want the intel, because when this goes south, and it will. Telling me you're becoming one of them, all this, yeah, it sounds to me like you're just making up excuses. You are part of the people. That font, I think, for the captions is, may very well be the same font of the movie's logo. Group hug AF. Can he have babies with Nertiti? So Zoe Saldana? Does he have the parts to do that in the Avatar? Or is that something he's going to miss? Her beadwork here looking a little more revealing than before, is it not? Link up. You know, he's done everything to make for a good situation for the corporation and everybody, right? If he can convince them to relocate. But is it the right thing to do? One must ask. You know, he feels like he's more in this tribe than he is a human at this point. He has so much more freedom in the Avatar. Oh yeah, you should go out with the best singer. You want to go out with the best hunter? You go to this gal. She's kind of rocking the gauge ears a bit there, huh? We are mated for life. Ooh, sealed, huh? No real ceremony. Uh-oh, machinery rumbling branches. Oh, he doesn't know that he needs to be an avatar. That's what happens if you're awake. Jake Sully, wake up. Trying like hell to get him out of the way of deforestation, huh? Now, I don't think that the Navi have necessarily been briefed on his situation of in regards to, hey, maybe I can't wake up because I'm also a human. We have to learn that we don't stop, huh? Like a train on the tracks. I'm telling you, some of the tracks here, this machinery, I think we can make that look better today. Yeah, you knock the cameras out, that nothing's gonna happen, huh? Hey, you could shoot one of these like 9-foot arrows at this. Is that our boy? It is. Lead the war party. Come on, we're using the Native American terminology here, huh? Grace is like, that wasn't part of the plan. It is done. Okay, well, I guess I can't be the leader now. Yeah, oh, he's raiding the compound. I have something to say. Picked up some of the language, I guess. He's shutting them down. Hurry. I was sitting here too. Ugh. Punch. That should be a meme right there. You crossed the line. It's punch. Oh, we got some local tail, all right. You're gonna shoot me? I can do that. Colonel, you gotta love to hate this guy. He ain't kidding. You throw a stick in the air here, it's gonna land on some sacred fern. Everything over here is so important. And it's, I mean, I'm not saying everything is that important here, but it's like placed at such a priority. Okay, so she's explaining that the trees serve as a network, so it's like everybody has Ethernet cables strewn about the roots of the trees. Okay, whatever. And they can upload data. What data? Like, what kind of real progress has their culture gained out of this technology? I mean, they're not even making use of the unobtainium, are they? Home tree, such a fitting name. Yeah, of course, the military guy likes that they're not going to be able to strike a deal. Humans don't have anything the Navi wants, so we get to take it. Now, look, the corporate guy here, he's a bit torn up by the decision. Okay, you want to drive him out of gas. I guess that's what we got to do, you know. He's not like, yeah, finally, you know. Man, look at that ship right there. Beastly. corporate guy gave him a shot, you know. All right, fine. Try to talk some sense in to see if you can get him to leave. Here, get to the thing, you know. You got 1 hour. He's kind of doing this behind the colonel's back, you know. Corporate guy's not the awful mustache twirling evil villain I think people would anticipate. Speak, Jake Sully. West Studi leave home tree? Hell no. I was following orders. Believe me, then we fell in love. Now everybody thinks I betrayed each other. Yeah, well. But listen, no, honey, I really love you. I trust you. Bind them, tie them up, about the same thing, right? Dragon pilot, scorpion pilot. I'm guessing Dragon's the big O ship. As it has a dragon kind of livery painted up on the side of the nose. No time to execute us. They're coming, guys. Everybody get your pterodactyls. Let's go. We got home tree surrounded. And this guy's Colonel is such a douche. He's got the coffee. He's just gonna kind of make this it's a walk in the park. Yep. Take a sip, fire some missiles. And remember, these are some serious arrows here. Incendiaries. Oh no. Get everyone to the forest. There will be some casualties. You sold them out. Of course she's going to leave you behind. The queen comes to the rescue, cuts them. Desperation move, huh? But Letty does not fire on the tree. I don't think she fires. I think she ends up not doing. Yeah, see, she's like kind of like this. Oh, we're gonna have words with her. Yeah, this is love the smell of napalm in the morning type expression right there. You know, we have to have Kermit sipping tea. I mean, come on, we can get some Colonel Quaritch memes going, can't we? I mean, he's quite a memeable guy. Yeah, I'd say the tree took the blunt force of that missile barrage. It's wood creaking. Then we push in. Bit of that crash zoom that it kind of takes me out of the movie because it makes the camera movement, although there isn't a camera actually involved here, though we have to kind of use the term camera movement for lack of a better word, the mobile framing, you know, it takes you out of the movie because I typically, when I edit, I prefer to have a fluid camera motion and with a cut. So you cut with the camera already in motion, fluid, uniform, preferably. There are some exceptions here and there, but then you cut elsewhere. You don't start moving the camera. You don't start zooming into a shot. It makes for a situation where you're reminding the audience, oh yeah, there's a camera that has to be involved. Kind of, and it sort of has a factor in ruining that willing suspicion of disbelief. Music's not bad in this. I'm trying to get the names right here. Was it James Horner who died? I think there was a hot air balloon incident, was it? Or went missing. I think it was James Horner who did the music in Aliens. Whoever did the music in Aliens, that composer died. I think it might have been this one. Composer did this movie. I don't think it's the most memorable music, but a lot of film scores now are so bland. There's not a ton of effort put into them. Oh no, we lost the chief. Big O splinter got him. We bleed red just like the humans. Protect the people. There's my bow. That's going to do it. That's all you need. Oh, she is pissed. Hell, she even gave you a never come back, my bro. Oh, Nevishkai gets in a left on the military dude as they're pulling them out. Oh no, and they faint. And of course, you know, if he sees Grace faint, he knows he's coming. Where did the colors go in this scene? Super desaturated all of a sudden. And the contrast kind of got kicked up too. Well, they did have to move from home tree. Not safe living conditions right there. Sent to the brig. Three people, communal toilets. I don't think these tree hugging deserve a meal, and I've got a gun. Again, one of the better characters in it seems like the better characters in this movie eat it. Grace, Trudy, Colonel. No real room for them in the sequel, but everybody seems to act like Trudy and the Colonel are coming back. Stephen Lang was saying that there's to be like 4 Avatar films. So, I mean, they got to get busy on this, right? And it was under the... He said it in the sort of way like he expects to be in each of them, even. At least in the second. Need someone on the inside I can trust. You stay here. We're about to get a pretty badass Colonel scene here. Quaritch just starts trying to go ham out here with he has like a pistol, tries to shoot the ship down without any kind of mask. He's like, screw it, I'm just gonna hold my breath and start shooting. I'll get him. I'm a badass. I ain't got time to breathe, right? Yeah, here we go. I swear the face mask you see Trudy working right here, Letty, very much in line to what you saw some people wanting people to wear during the lockdown and all. Yeah, big time sneeze guard mask right here, huh? Machine gun. I'm gonna bring in the It's sort of like Master Chief pistol looking type thing. Maybe I'll put on a mask. Uh-oh. Grace got hit. It's going to ruin my whole day. Gotta have a good attitude when you get shot, kids. We'll end up getting some payoff here to Grace's demise. Well, as we find that it's too late for her to transfer from body to strictly avatar. But they kind of think maybe there's some hope for a character later. Tree of Souls. Maybe we can work some voodoo magic, huh? The people can help you. Hey, they try anyhow, right? If we all dance together, maybe we can transfer the body. I mean, come on, your enemy seems to have taken over as the chief now, but it seems to give up the title. Well, I mean, not enemy, but frenemy, huh? Guy's disappointed you mated for life with Nertiti, yeah. Zoe Saldana. The wasteland looks like after the Predator nuke. To ever face them again, you gotta take it to a whole new level. Can you just call upon your sky buddy because you bonded? Of course, he didn't brief anybody on the plan so that the audience can kind of learn as it's going on. Nothing ever attacks Taruk, the baddest cat in the sky. Why would he look up? Yeah. That's sound logic. Well, at least the sky people didn't attack the Tree of Souls, right? In addition to Home Tree. Yeah, now he's making an entrance now. Big flex, bringing in the big bird. Get him back on the side. Good payoff for that, really. I mean, how they kind of set up the story for that. Whoever tames him is going to be so strong they can unite the tribes, all this stuff. Get a way for him to earn some respect back. Oh, their attitudes have shifted. I don't really think I see you caught on in quite the way envisioned. It's not something like boyfriends are saying to their girlfriends or anything. So he's kind of like, it's sort of like Jake Sully's outside the tribe here as he goes to gather more tribes to help with the conflict. Needs the leader of this tribe, but we do have a favor to ask here. I have a problem with Grace. Can you guys give this a shot? Yeah, sure, we'll strip her down and cover her in vines. Yeah, that's gonna help. How long did it take her to bleed out? Great Mother may choose to save all. She's too weak to do it. That's the trick. You can see they have their tails like the ponytail USB cord in the ground. They're linked up, churning. I mean, it looks like she's sufficiently covered in fiber optics. This should work, right? Now, when you're first watching this, you're probably thinking that this situation will work. You think it'll work, that there'll be a way to save Sigourney Weaver. So I mean, I didn't expect her to be checking out, but it makes for a situation that sets up a way to save Jake later by bringing this in. And the lights dim. Wah wah, didn't work. I guess you don't need this gas mask anymore. Running out of allies, what are you going to do, Jake Sully? Inspirational speech time. I think that the big climactic battle here is quite sufficiently set up. We cover a pretty good amount of ground in this movie. 2 hour, 40-minute film, but we have plenty of time to bond and relate the characters. There's some likable lines. There's several likable characters. Hell, even one you love to hate. But there's time to set up everything, and then you get a hell of a battle at the end where the stakes feel real, which is more than what I can say for so many movies these days, where you feel like, oh, the superheroes, so they die. Well, but they're not dead, because they're going to come back in one way or another, reboot. Some Deus Ex Machina got out of this. It wasn't the real one that died. There was a clone. Like, any kind of thing like that, right? Stakes here feel more final, though one has to wonder how final that could be if we're reviving characters for the sequel. In the time, it sure feels like something of it matters, I guess. The Horse Clan, these guys only ride horses. Now, it seems James Cameron has a fascination with underwater scenery settings, and it's expected that there's going to be much underwater action in the upcoming Avatar. To which, with the pandemic, I wonder if they got to shooting much of it, or if it's all rumor and hearsay. I mean, there's talk, oh, it got pushed back. You'll hear that. As so many other things did, getting pushed back. Now I've got my own inspirational speech. How you like that projector? of course, they've got such a blue collar Southern good old boy makeup among most. Well, no, you see, you saw them in the front row, but you do see quite a bit of workaday, average Joe minority sort in there also. Like, I mean, there's some diversity, but it's not everybody looks like a scholar. Big O battle time. And we have that similar allegory type thing of aliens where we make it of like the Vietnam conflict. You have the mighty imperial force with all the high-tech doodads versus the homegrown warriors fighting to save their own land. "15 clans, over 2,000 warriors. How many gunships?" Their guidance systems not being able to work in this region is the saving grace. What, there's no green left in Earth, the world you came from? You killed Mother Nature? I mean, I suppose some more messaging could have hit home more effectively if we saw Earth 2154, see how bad it is, and compare it to the lush greenery here. Though, of course, common sense prevails, and we know that this rainforest planet is greater than the volume of our rainforests, right? Does Avatar make you want to protect the rainforests or indigenous people? Did that message hit home for you? Jake Sully going full braid here. I can definitely see it in her beadwork and necklaces looking better if done soon. Here we'll see some of these crash zooms. Yep, there we go. Crash zoom out. Corporate guy doesn't like this. Didn't want it to come down to this, he's thinking. What's the matter, Colonel? No coffee mug this time? If you heard the Avatar theme in the theater before a movie started, as they're playing other theme songs. Would you recognize the Avatar theme? I wouldn't say there's a strong chance of it. I mean, there's a possibility, in part because you'd be like, what else could it be? I recall the movie theater I had frequented would play many film scores at times. You know, sometimes you see these theaters that run the ads on the screen or a trivia game, but no, this one wanted to be classy. That's why it cost more. The red velvet screen up, play some music, and there'd be things playing, and it'd be like, I think that's the new Star Trek theme. You know, so much of it just blends together to the point that it's hard to identify. Now, our stand-in for Apone, who was talking so much at the beginning of the film, I don't believe we ever see him again. He was featured in the briefing, but I don't think we see him out here. We don't see him get killed, that I know of. Does anyone have the last name Quaritch? I think it might have served better to give a more easy to pronounce name. Giant bayonet on the end of our giant, I don't know, assault rifle for our big boy mech warrior, huh? All right, we got the ground attack coming in. Radar can't pick them up. We got the aerial assault. I think you got to be digging this. I mean, there's no get out of this situation with special power bullshit. You know, their capabilities are pretty grounded. Okay, they can communicate with the animals, the planet, in a way. It doesn't really grant them magic. Besides, they have to use bow and arrows. It's not like they're conjuring flames. I like seeing the difference in the perspective. You know, once you get the people mixed up in this, you get an idea of how big the Avatar. And I mean, look at this. His big pterodactyl, Tarok, or whatever. What is Tarok Octos? I mean, things like the size of one of their. Like, I almost want to call it a pelican from Halo, but. Actually, was it called a scorpion or a hornet in like was it Halo Reach or 3 that had a flying type helicopter thing? But it was much smaller than what we're seeing of these. And not a heap of blood. You're not seeing decapitations. I think you see guys get smashed, cutting away just prior to explosion, and then reverse shot of the explosion outside exterior. But you'll see some big arrows going in. Bam! Yeah. Yeah, I guess they're little double copter things. They're calling them scorpions. Line of sight missiles can be effective. And where's Trudy? I know she's got to be jumping in here. And I think some people had kind of a ingest. They're like, oh, well, So hers has blue paint on it. Yeah, so... Oops. Yeah, I thought this was a fun moment. Like, people in the theater are liking this. Light her up. Strafe. I think she's chewing some gum, too. Dang, they're just dropping everything they can at her. Oh, there's a lot of shots there. Yeah. I think she explodes. All right, so she drifts out of the way, but I don't think we ever see her again. If we do, it's her ship blowing up when it's like everything's looking bad, everybody's dying. We see her crash. You know, I think we get a shot like that, but I don't know how we'd expect Trudy to return for a sequel. No, I lost the creature I bonded with. Damn. Then looks on, sees like the horse warriors on fire. It did a pretty good job of making the battle dramatic here. Yeah, I don't want to get in a fight with a giant in the open bay of some kind of flying helicopter / plane, you know, like, can only end bad for everybody. Oh, there's Trudy's, yeah. Hell, this guy even gets shot, but he gets to wake up. That's kind of cheating. Yeah, she's toast. Oh, it's looking bad. Tootsie, Rogue One. Yeah, they're down, buddy. You know, consider the expression from most of the military guys here. They're just so disconnected. They're taking out non-humans. What do they got to be concerned about? They don't need to have their emotions riled up, right? And we're just, it could be bugs, aliens, anything, right? Oh, she ain't taking orders from you, Jake Sully. Amp Suit Commander 2. So we're calling that an amp suit? Oh, not just the tribes come to help, but the wilderness beasts have come to the rescue even to protect the Tree of Souls, quite possibly. Yeah, even with the amp suit, I would rather not fight the colossal elephant rhino hammerhead shark. Yeah, now they've got numbers on their side. It really, the vast majority of this battle scene looks as good as one could expect, really. Want to ride? Valkyrie 1-6 seems to have their hands full right now. Here we come with the dual. Look how cool I am! Grenade shot. You'll see. Obviously, we got a payload bomb. They want to drop out. You don't want to be crushed by that. Ooh. All right, here's where I think we'll see the grenade move. Yeah. Ka-ching! Yeah. You couldn't have hit these jet engines with the grenades a little sooner into the fight. Maybe spare some people, you know, save some of your buddies. Prioritize the two bigger ships. Yeah, I like the fast action of Colonel Quaritch here. It's like, okay, he wants to do this. I've got some tricks of my own, huh? Yeah, you don't want a missile to go into your blade. That'll be bad. He's on fire and he just kind of bats it off. Badass. Do you think maybe there's a possibility that this Colonel Quaritch character was intended to be played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he was tied up being governor of California, unavailable to shoot, and somehow Stephen Lang auditions, gets the part, impresses James Cameron, something to that effect, huh? Because you can kind of envision like just the machismo about the character, the shrugging off the fire, it doesn't screw breathing, right? All that sort of stuff. You can kind of see Arnold Schwarzenegger getting that sort of commanding the presence this character seems to need, right? All right, I'm gonna go solve this problem. Yeah, I'm gonna go for his shed. What do we got over here? The girlfriend. There we go. As basic, as low tech as it gets. The primal beast versus the mech warrior. Thing's strong enough to smash his colossal rifle. That's okay. I got a huge knife with me, too. Which I wondered, does a giant robot need a knife? I mean, you have giant robot hands and arms to crush with, don't you? Yeah, I don't think we've got an F-bomb in this, have we? PG-13. In a pretty safe PG-13. It's not like near R. And I think that's why we're seeing this on Disney Plus instead of Hulu. Smash. Yeah, get a good hole in there. That'll take him out. You're going to hold your breath for the remainder of this fight? That's what we're going to do? Can't see anything over the glass. Betray your own race. Oh, we're bringing that in. Time to wake up. And he means that literally. All you gotta do is get you out of the chamber, and you're no longer the Avi. Really quite well choreographed fight, I feel. If not choreographed, then at least well storyboarded. Oh no, I'm coming and going, losing my senses here. I like how Natiri, she's not useless. She's not a damsel in distress at all. James Cameron films do a really good job of subverting the typical female role. You know, like, I mean, hell, she puts away the bad guy. Huge arrows. Yeah, you're going to see those 3D at that angle. Do you think Jake Sully's briefed her on the whole situation, how all this needs to work? Hey, go get the guy you got to go find me over here. Probably should have told her about this before the fight. Of course, it makes sense that, okay, she can put it on him. Maybe she doesn't know how it works entirely. Is it okay that I'm shorter than you? Yellowish teeth. We might want to get you guys some fluoride in the jungle. The few humans were chosen to stay. Very selective. Guess this is my last video log. Is it possible that with us saying vlog or vlog, that would probably be the word he would use in 2154? And here we go. Big celebration. They're pretty confident this is going to work this time, as he's not riddled with a bullet. Just move the data over here. I mean, I honestly, as if my opinion never really changes on movies. I feel like there's a bit of a overtly preachiness about this at times, and it seems like the story has been done before with a different paint job in a way, but there's still a lot to be impressed about here. I mean, I my initial review, I gave it 2.5 out of 4. I think in some ways that can be considered disappointing. I mean, it seemed to be nominated for a lot more Oscars than it maybe should have been nominated for. It didn't strike me as good enough to be winning, but hell, it wasn't long before this we had Return of the King win. So it wasn't unprecedented for something of sci-fi or fantasy to be doing well. I think our ending song is that British gal. Really, I don't think she quite got the Celine Dion effect for having a song in James Horner. I think it's James Horner that died. Yeah, gosh, I can't remember her name, but yeah, she kind of just fell off after this. Not a lot of movies since have had, hey, let's work in a big song for the movie. And even when they do, if it's just shoved at the end of the film in the credits, and what really good is that? But West Studi, yeah. Well, what'd you guys think of Avatar? Are you looking forward to Avatar 2 with that Avatar nostalgia? Let me know in the comments below. If you made it this far, wait until marriage. Counseling.